Hello BookTube, Sarah here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with the Pick Me a Book for July of 2017. How this works if you're new to my channel is that on my Friday Reads video that just got posted a few days ago, I asked you guys to pick me numbers from 100 to 125. And a bunch of you replied, and what I do is I match those numbers up to the numbers on my TBR for what number book they are on my TBR. And from there, I'm going to tell you guys now about the 6 books that were picked. And you guys now, I want you to vote in the comments below on which book you think I should read in the month of July. I do this kind of like a little added book to add to my already quite full TBR every month. But I love doing this because I think it's so much fun, and I love getting the BookTube community to kind of help me pick a book, what sounds good. Plus, it lets you guys kind of see some older stuff that's on my TBR. So, there were a bunch of numbers picked. Now, I didn't use all the numbers that were picked. And please note that even if I didn't use your number, I did look at everything. And what I did was I kind of compiled a list of all the books. And I looked at some of the ones that might be later in a series. And as you guys know, I need to read series books in order. That, if I didn't own the first book, I didn't put it on the list. Only reason is because I'm trying to get stuff off my TBR without adding new stuff to my TBR. But anyway, there are 6 books, so let's jump right in and get started. So the first book that was picked was book number 115 on my TBR, and that was picked by Lena. And that book is Logan by Linda Lehal Miller. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. It is the first book in the Montana Creeds series. This author is very, very well known for doing cowboy romances, and that's exactly what this is. This is a series, I believe it's 3 books, it might be more now, about 3 brothers, and the first story is about Logan, which hence the title of the story, and he works on the family ranch, and they have a new neighbor named Brianna, and she's a divorced mom of little boys, and he kind of takes these little boys under his wing because their father, for whatever reason, isn't around. This one would be a reread for me, but I can tell you the first time I read it, this book came out in 2009, so I think I read it when it was first published, so you're looking at about 8 years ago. I kind of remember the story, but not 100%, and it is one that I think I bought it because it was on a Kindle Daily Deal, and I do want to reread it. So, like I said, this is the first one to pick from. The second pick was number 112, and that was by Alana of the Alana Reads BookTube channel, whom I adore watching, and that corresponded to The Island by Heather Graham. You guys know what a big Heather Graham fan I am. This is one of hers that I have actually not read yet. And it is a romantic suspense. I believe it takes place in Key West. A lot of her standalone novels take place in like South Florida, Key West area, which is an area that is on my bucket list to eventually travel to one day. But in this story, a woman is walking on a beach and she comes across a skull. Well, then I think other people show up and she panics and she covers it up. And then she goes back because she figures, well, she better go to the police, and the skull is gone. So then she starts investigating what might have happened, and the story goes from there. So it sounds really good. Again, takes place in South Florida, so it should be a great beach read. I've noticed that all of the books that were picked sort of are all great summary type beach reads. And this one, again, it's a Heather Graham. I can't go wrong with a Heather Graham. The next number picked was 116, and that was by my lovely friend Mandy. And this book is Spring Fever by Mary Kay Andrews. I mean, look at this cover. Could you not get a better summer read than this one? This story is about a woman who, is divorced, but I guess because she's trying to keep the peace, decides to attend her ex-husband's wedding to his new wife. Well, literally, as the bride is walking down the aisle, the wedding is called to a halt. And the main character, I think it's Mary Jane or Anna Jane or something like that, she decides that maybe she's being given a second chance, and maybe she misses her ex-husband and they should get back together. And then there's small town secrets and that whole drama that kind of goes with this kind of story, and it really does sound like a lot of fun. I mean, the cover just looks wonderful, and I think this is going to be a great beach read. The next number that was picked was 117, and that was by Tamika. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And the book that she picked is Controlled Burn by Shannon Stacey. This is the second book in the Boston Fire series. And I'm just going to let that cover sit there just for a second so you guys can appreciate the wonderfulness of it. This is obviously a firefighter romance. I read the first book last year and I loved it. Shannon Stacey is a great author. She does the Kowalski family series, if you guys are familiar with that one. These are really, really great contemporary romances, but with a more like romantic comedies, kind of. And this is a story about a firefighter who lives in a house. Like, he rents a room, I think, for an elderly couple, and he does a lot of work and helps them out. Well, the lead character in the story, the female, they're her grandparents, and she's kind of been put in charge of trying to get them to sell this house and move into a home. And of course, her and I think Rick is the male lead. They kind of butt heads about the whole thing. So it sounds like it should be a really great story. Again, Shannon Stacey is a fabulous writer, and hello on that cover. I mean, seriously, people? Seriously. Firefighters. We love them. Next book picked was book number 108, and that was picked by Linda. Thank you, Linda. She also has a booktube channel, and I adore watching her videos as well. And the book that she picked is actually called Fall from Pride by Karen Harper. This is the first book in the Home Valley series. This is actually an Amish mystery. And I know Karen Harper is quite, she does a lot of these kind of books. And this one sounds really interesting. And it's about a woman who lives in an Amish community who gets permission from the church elders to paint murals on the sides of barns. But they're murals of like quilt squares and stuff like that. Well, then all of a sudden, someone is now committing arson and setting all these barns on fire. And an arson investigator comes in, and the story kind of goes from there. And it sounds really, really good. And I do enjoy reading these kind of more Amish stories because they are, on one level, they're so pure. And you don't get a lot of that extra, when it's a romantic, and I do believe there's some romance aspect to this, but you're not getting the adult situations like you would be in a typical contemporary romance, and it's very refreshing, and I'm really looking forward to eventually getting to this one. And the last book that was chosen by Sissy, who also has a booktube channel, and she is the romance queen of booktube. She picked number 120, which correlated to Nothing But Blue Skies by Christine Ridgway. And this looks like a great, great summer read, and this is kind of a really interesting premise. It's about a woman in Southern California, off the coast, like on an island, who has an inn. She's an innkeeper. And it's the romance between her and an astronaut, of all things. I don't think I've ever read an astronaut romance before. But he's kind of come to this very small island to detox and to get away from his very high-octane life. And, of course, the two of them fall in love, and the story goes from there. And this one also sounds like it's going to be really good. And, again, a really, really great summery read, especially with that cover. So let me know in the comments below, guys, which one you think I should read this month. Or if there's actually any of these that you want to read, and you kind of want to read it together this month, and, you know, we can maybe kind of do a buddy read or something like that. I'm not very good at buddy reads, I'll be honest, but we could both read it and, like, share our thoughts on it and things like that. So please let me know in the comments below what book, and if you're interested in reading it along with me. The book that gets the most votes is the one that I will be reading in the month of July, and, of course, I will let you guys know which book that is when I record my Friday reads this coming Friday. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Take care and happy reading, everybody. Bye.